What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. Finally back in my office, so a lot more comfortable now, and I can actually see the charts more clearly. But yeah, nonetheless, we've had a down close day just as anticipated, and you can see we ran out that Monday high just as I was calling out in yesterday's video as well. So you can see our price is playing along with my expectations. To be honest, on weeks like these, with regards to non-farm payroll and lots of high impact news, it is usually the first 2-3 days that I'm comfortable with, and then it usually ends up in some kind of catastrophe. But nonetheless, you can see we traded higher, running out that Monday high, and now it looks like we're about to close below this original low, which I wanted to see us close below. And now we're going to start working towards this fair value gap. Now, we've already traded through the fair value gap on Monday, so I'm not too concerned about that. I would like to see a continuation to the downside, because that was my expectations for the week, to get like a down close week. So nonetheless, let's go to the 4 hour. I'll just go here, and you'll see how we traded up higher, running out that Monday high and created that beautiful displacement. Here's a breaker. Why is it a breaker? Last down close candle before the up move, we traded into that, and you can see now we're just hanging around this low. So moving into tomorrow, I do want to see a continuation to the downside. I now have my eyes very set on Monday's lows. So now that we've taken out Monday's highs, the next target for me will be Monday's lows, in line with these lows below here as well. It'll be a lot more clear on the 1 hour. I am going to get rid of these fair value gaps, sorry, purely because we've traded through it already. We can get rid of this as well. 4 hour inversion fair value gap, you can see how it's acted. Definitely study this, guys. Look, we traded through it on the downside. Did it act as resistance? Yes. Although we wicked higher, volume stayed within it and then caused a beautiful reaction to the downside. We do now have an inversion fair value gap that's formed right here on the 4 hour, however. So if price is to retrace back into this range, I want to see this provide resistance. So I will keep that marked out as a 4 hour inversion fair value gap. And what you'll find is that also lines up with the midpoint of this wick as well. So that's quite interesting. Now you will notice a fair value gap up here in the premium, but I'm not concerned about that. And the reason for that is because I'd like to see this left open, assuming we're going to trade lower, because that would then act as a breakaway gap. And I need some kind of signature like that to be ensured that we're likely going to run for these lows, which is my first target. So I'm looking for this to get left open. Again, moving into tomorrow, this is this inversion fair value gap on the 4 hour. Let's just write that out, shall we? 4 hour FVG. That 4 hour fair value gap is the very highest I want to see price go for me to remain bearish on dollar and obviously bullish on the pairs. So let's now drop to the 1 hour, and I will have my daily dividers here. And you'll see that 1 hour gap from the opening price, and you can see how we traded through that. So if you remember in yesterday's video, I stated so long as we stay above this midpoint, I want to see that Monday high get ran. We stayed above the midpoint, and what happened? We ran that Monday high, and then we had a reversal just as anticipated. This black level right here is a weekly bearish order block, so we anticipate strong reactions off of that. Again, beautiful displacement, traded back into the breaker, last down close candle before the up move, and you can see how we're continuing lower. So again, moving into that new day, if we do get any kind of retracement back into this area, I want to see us stay below this 50% level this time, and I'd like to think that that can help us send price lower, running now for that Monday low. So my eyes are set on this low moving into the new day. So let's get that marked out as sell side liquidity. We'll definitely thicken that up a little bit, and yeah, that's my daily target moving into the Wednesday. We will go to the 15-minute, and you can see how we traded higher, ran that Monday stop, displacement, consolidation inside of that gap. And what I do like is how we've left it now, which is, again, if we trade back into it, it should provide resistance, specifically at that midpoint right here. I'm looking at this level, so I'm expecting that to carry on providing resistance in line with the 4 hour fair value gap. Can't make this stuff up. Oh, didn't mean to delete that. In line with the 4 hour fair value gap. So as soon as we're in here, maybe during London, I'll be expecting shorts at that position again to run for that Monday low and fill this daily fair value gap, with potential to then run down below here for the rest of the week. But overall, that's what I want to see price do ideally. And yeah, it seems pretty simple, nothing too complicated. If you haven't watched yesterday's video, I do suggest you watch it, and you'll see how accurate we were in terms of expecting that Monday high to get ran and then see price reverse like that. So it's all just anticipation, guys. But nonetheless, let's head over to GBP USD. Now, I did get in on a few trades on GBP this morning, which was pretty good. And you can see how we traded lower, ran out the Monday low just as anticipated. We didn't quite reach down into this gap Remember I was saying how we may want to fill it. Price never done that. What's that showing? It's showing strength, because price is failing and resisting and refusing to go any lower than this low. So it's saying I want to go higher, and look at how we're closing, very bullishly. And if we look at this huge wick from Monday as well, and we look at the 50% level, you can see how we've now closed above it. The fact that we've closed above this is saying to me, wow, it's likely we're going to run for the highs now, which is in line with our bias, with expecting to see lower dollar. So I do like the look of that. We'll also get the 25% level marked out, purely because if we are going to get any kind of deep retracement, this is going to be the very lowest I want to see price trade. But like I said, but obviously it depends on what PD arrays we see on the lower time frame. So let's go to the 4 hour. I am looking for an up close day, so I want to see the low get made in London ideally. You can see there's an implied fair value gap right here between this close and this low. However, this candle's not finished yet, so let's ignore that for now. Actually, probably best we do ignore it. But we do have a breaker which lines up with that 25% level. We have a low, we have a high, we have a lower low, and you can see our price is trading through it. Although we haven't taken out this high yet, volume is clearly closing above that level. Like, look at this, you can see how we're clearly closing above there. So there's a willingness to want to go higher. So I'm now looking at this up close candle. Although we haven't closed above the high, I am looking at this up close candle to provide support moving into the new day, with the expectation to run that Monday high and start, creeping up into the premiums that we wanted to see for this week. So let's now drop down to the 1 hour, and you'll see I have my daily dividers. Beautiful delivery, and look at this, found support on that breaker, and it's very classic for price to return back to the breaker and trade on higher. So that's why I'm expecting, if we do get that nice retracement in dollar that I was talking about, back into this range, then I'd want to see pound retrace into this range and then help send price higher. So that's how I'm looking at pound again. Very minimal, very simple, and you can see this consolidation as well. The fact that we're running those highs, this consolidation should help us create support as we trade into the Wednesday. And we are slowly again creeping towards elections, so we do need to be very careful as we continue to trade pound. But you can see there's a lot of strength, and to be honest, with us creating the low like that on Tuesday, and if we do on that Monday high, I wouldn't be surprised if by Thursday, with elections, it ran it back down again. So it really depends. Obviously, we'll see where price is, and I'll probably clear my charts moving into Wednesday and Thursday just to get a fresh look, because you can see how messy price is right now, and it's not the cleanest environments. But generally speaking, moving into Wednesday, I'd like to think that we can continue to peak on higher. Now, where to exactly? Well, there is that weekly bearish order block level right here, so it'll be interesting to see if volume responds to that. And if we do take out that high, then I'll be looking at this rejection block level up here. But there's not really any clear imbalance in the premium that I can see price necessarily wanting to go to, unless it gets overzealous and wants to go all the way up here. Now, if that was to happen, dollar would have to drop significantly, but nonetheless, we do still have this massive, is that a fair value gap? I believe it's we have this weekly fair value gap down here on dollar anyway. So that is very doable. GBP could happily trade up into that daily fair value gap, in line with dollar dropping down into that weekly fair value gap. So that's something to take into consideration. But nonetheless, I want to see a low get created in this red zone here, which is specifically a, breaker. Any lower than that, if we drop below that 50% level, I'm not happy. I'll simply stay out of it. But so long as we stay above that, I'm happy to remain bullish with an expectation to run that Monday high and potentially this high as well. So let's get those marked out as buy side liquidity, because these are definitely going to be my targets moving into the new day. So finally, let's finish up on Euro USD. We'll start on the daily here as well. I haven't really been on Euro. So again, I'm looking at, what's this for? We'll get rid of that for now. But beautifully, we traded down into the bullish order block, just as anticipated, came off of it, just as anticipated. So now I'm looking at the 50% level and 25% level of this wick, because that's going to be the lowest I want to see price trade. So we'll get both levels marked out, and then as we drop down to the lower time frames, we'll look in this range for a PD array to key off in the discount to then send us where? To this high right here, because that's in line with our bullish bias this week on the pairs. So let's go down to the 4 hour, and you'll see how there is a bullish order block and a breaker block right here as well. So low, high, low, low, traded above this high. So this up close candle is a breaker, meaning that when we trace back into this range, we're looking for accumulation to then send us towards that buy side liquidity target. So pretty simple, beautiful dip down into that bullish order block, classic as well, low, high, 2 dips into it, and then expansion higher. This is just classic price action, guys. And then yeah, that's at 25% level from the daily. This is that's the 25% level, sorry. This is the 50% level. Ideally, we respect that 50% level. That would show more bullishness, and I do want to see that, and that will again help us with forming setups within this range, so between this low and whatever high we're about to create. That will help form setups to go long, to run that Monday high as a target. Now, if we drop down below that 50% level, which was here, so if price starts digging deeper into that, I'll stay out of it, because as far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't need to go back down there again. Why not? Because we've traded into a bullish order block from the daily right here, and respected it clearly. And this is obvious displacement to the upside, came back, breaker. So this bullish order block right here, these 2 down close candles, this should hold price up very comfortably. If anything, I don't want to see price get any lower than this, ideally moving to the new day, until we've run out these highs. So that's how I'm looking at euro coming into the new day. It's looking very similar to dollar, obviously inverted, but again, we should see continued support, and I will be looking at the London session for a nice setup for that to run that Monday high. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. Pretty simple, very nice delivery, can't lie. And considering we do have non-farm payroll and all sorts going on today, it's moving pretty smoothly, but I won't talk too fast, purely because we still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with elections, and then all sorts coming as well, and PM and FOMC minutes, which is the cleanest of deliveries usually. So that's going to be everything. Don't forget to smash subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.